Unless you've worked in book publishing before, you've probably never even heard the term book map. But if you are writing and publishing a book, whether you're self-publishing or traditionally publishing, you need to know what it is, and I'm going to tell you all about it. Jodi here of Jodi Brandon Editorial. I am a book writing coach, book editor, and publishing consultant to creative entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, and bloggers who want to scale their business with a book. And today we're going to talk about a book map. And what that is basically a checklist of everything that's included inside your book. From the chapters to the dedication if you have one, to the appendix if you have one, to the about the author section. Everything that is included in your book is included in the book map. And what you want to do with this document is help your team stay organized. So if you have, for example, a dedication, it could be 2 words. It could be to Jessica, and that's it for the dedication page. It might not even say dedication at the top of that page. And so your designer could easily think that that is an error and not actually part of the book. A mistake I see all the time is that authors don't create a book map and they use their table of contents as the guide for everyone on the team, for the editor, for the designer. The reason you don't want to do that is because everything that's included in the front matter, which is the things at the very beginning of the book that are not included on your table of contents, like the copyright page, the dedication, the acknowledgments, the title page, it could get lost, it could get skipped over, and it could get ignored by the designer, and then the book gets paginated. And then it's just really, it's a royal pain in the you-know-what to fix everything, to add it back in, to repaginate. So if everybody's on the same page from the get-go, the process is going to be much smoother. And that's what a book map does for you. So in publishing, we basically divide books into 3 parts: front matter, body, and back matter. And I have a worksheet that I'll link below that lists the common elements that are included in a book. You know, a foreword, a preface, an introduction, a glossary, an appendix, chapter titles, part titles, all of those different things. Now, your book isn't going to have every single one of them. It doesn't need to have every single one of them. But I list them all on there so you know what the options are and what order they should go in for a traditionally published book. Because if you're self-publishing, you're trying to produce a book that is professional, right? Just like the pros do it, just like the publishing houses do it. So you want to follow the same order that they do, so your book doesn't stick out like a sore thumb and people are wondering, why the heck does she have her, copyright page listed on the table of contents and following the table of contents? That's not how we roll in book publishing, right? So you want to follow the standard order of matter, have your book map follow it, and just use it as a checklist to keep your team organized. So you want to think about the elements that you do want to have in your book. Do you have a connection to someone who is a rock star in your industry? I don't necessarily mean an actual celebrity like you'd see on TV, but someone who's a rock star in your industry. If you have a connection to that person and that person might be willing to write a foreword for your book, by all means, include a foreword, because you can include that person's name on the front cover. You can include that person's name in all of your press and your promo and your marketing. And it will help you sell your book, right? Or at least get your name in front of other people, because people who know the person who wrote your foreword are now more likely to say, oh, well, so-and-so wrote the foreword, so this must be a credible book, a credible person. So that's something, it's awesome to have if you can have it. If you don't sweat it. Some people have an introduction and a preface. You don't need both. You can have one or the other. Some people include a glossary if that's something that, if there's a lot of, jargon in your industry that you just want to be clear that the audience knows, include a glossary. I included one in my book last year, Write, Publish, Market, because I understand that the book publishing industry is new to a lot of people. And that, sometimes there's words that I use. I had people go through it and just highlight words. They were like, I don't know what that word means, Jodi. That's book publishing speak. But a glossary, not a bad thing to include in there, and I've gotten great feedback on putting it in there. So maybe your book will benefit from that. Maybe you'll have some kind of appendix where you'll have a case study. For example, I just worked with an author on a photography book, a brand photography book, and she included a case study of one of her clients and the process that they went through and the photos that they chose to use and all of that. And I think it's going to really help her readers see the value of brand photography, which is part of the point of her book, right? So a case study is great. Sometimes you have like sample forms or sample letters or something like that that you want to include, swipe copy, all of that. Those are great to include in an appendix. Sometimes you have photos in a book with captions or charts or tables or something if you're writing a business book. So it's basically just a way to track what you have so that you know what you have, you know what order it's supposed to be in, your editor knows the same, and then your designer knows the same. So then when you have finished files to be printed and then put into a bound book, everything's there. Everything's in the right spot. Everything's in the right order, and there are no surprises on the back end of, and then having to, switch things around, pay the designer to redo something, anything like that. So it's basically an organizational tool. And there's a long history behind it in the book publishing industry that, unless you are interested in book publishing, will be horrifically boring. So I won't get into all that. But today we use it, and I use it with my clients as a way, as a checklist of sorts, just to stay organized, make sure everybody knows what we're including in this book so that, it's not the 11th hour and your editor's saying, hey, I thought we were having a foreword by so-and-so. Do we have that? And no, we don't have that. And now it's too late to get it because now it's, 2 months before the book is being published. So it's just, again, a way to stay organized, which is incredibly important if you're self-publishing because you're sort of the project manager, right? You're steering the ship and you need to know what's what and you need to have your team know what's what. So I have a worksheet down below that will help you sort of see what the different elements are, where they fit, the order that they should be in. If you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask. Ask me in the comments here or get in touch with me elsewhere. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. I would love to have you see more videos like this, and I will see you in the bookstore.